Hi guys, sorry I didn't get around to doing a video last week, but I was away on vacation with my sister-in-law. But today I thought we would tackle, you can see over my head here, there's this round wooden piece that I actually have hanging in my kitchen, and it's got all Hoyas in it, of course. So they're desperately in need of watering, but I put the job off because I wanted to record it today. And I wanted to show you the plants that are up there, show you the display, and I'm also going to mix up some nutrient solution, and I'm going to add some mosquito dunks to my water. Okay, so let's get going. Hi guys, my name is Grania and this is my channel Jungle Flowers Canada. Thank you so much for joining me. So I think we'll start by mixing up my nutrient solution and adding the mosquito dunks. Let's take a look at that process. This solution I'm using at the moment is this, is there a name on it? The Perfect Technology. So it has a gorilla on the front of it. Actually, let me turn on my overhead lights. Okay, that should be a little bit better. So we have Micro, we have Bloom, and we have Grow. So you do not need to adjust the pH balance with these. Not that I ever did that anyway. But if you're somebody who is concerned, it does say here pH Perfect Technology. I never adjusted the pH in my solution anyway. I did test it once upon a time and it was pretty well on par with what was required. So it hasn't affected my plants. I think that's a little overrated, guys, personally. I also have these 1 gallon containers that I bought from Dollarama a couple of years ago, and they're still going strong. I also have my mosquito dunks. So you see I only have 2 left. I will put a link in the description where you can buy these much cheaper than Amazon if you live in Canada. I can't remember, it's a health food shop. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but if you want to check out the link below, they're like half the price of what they are on Amazon, and they do ship. But firstly, I'm just going to go ahead and fill the gallon containers, and then I'll show you how I add my solution. Okay guys, I did this a little bit arse about face, as we would say at home, in that I filled the containers first. What I actually normally do is I add the solution to the bottom, then add the water so that it can be thoroughly mixed. But I'll just shake the containers after we're finished. So I take the lazy man's way, like I do for most things, and I just add a cap of each to each of my gallon containers. I used to use a syringe, but I actually stopped doing that. It says on the back how much you're supposed to put in, but I find a cap is good in a gallon jug. If you wish to follow the instructions there, go ahead. This is what I do, and I haven't had any issues. Here's number 1. Now I'm going to take my mosquito dunks. I only have 2 left, as you can see. So I'm just going to break my mosquito dunks into quarters, and I'm just going to pop 1 in each, and I'm also going to put some into my watering cans, because not every plant in my house will get nutrient solution, or they won't get nutrient solution every watering. So just to prepare, I will have 1 in here. Now what you will notice, well, if you have containers like this, you have to be careful, because sometimes the mosquito dunk will come out and go into your watering can. If that happens, go ahead and retrieve it and put it back in. So that basically will filter through the water and hopefully take care of your mosquito dunks. And then I have another 1 left, so I break that into quarters and I'll put these in all of my watering cans. Up here it's a spool, you know those large electrical wire spools. I just bought the bottom end of one. This one isn't very large, you can get much bigger. And then Kieran attached it. So these are also antique spools. They are for a loom, and then we just put some chains on the other side. I recently just added this grow light. So it's actually the grow lights that come on a stick, that you can stick the stick into the pot. I think they're called halo lights. And I'm not crazy about this piece of wire, but for now, until I find a better solution, that's what I'm using. And you can see I have lots of Hoyas. So just for perspective, it's over my countertop, and I am excited for this to get bigger. You can see they all are desperately in need of water. All of the gauges are right down, and actually this poor baby, this is the Engleriana. She's looking a little sad up at the top there. Hopefully I can bring her back to life. So I nearly went flying off my stool there. I was overreaching to the plants at the back. I normally go around with my stool and lift them down. No, I didn't this time. I'm going to put this mosquito dunk into this pot. I love these pots. These are IKEA pots, and I find they really help you not to overwater your plants. If I use a container that has a larger spout, I tend to overwater. So these work perfectly for me. So we'll just fill my watering can. Oh, the mosquito dunk. I may put some sort of a little grid on this to stop this happening. So I'm going to have to go back in here now and scoop out the mosquito dunk. Oops. I'll pop you back in there. I may put a bit of mesh or something over it just to stop that happening. Here we have the Polyneura Silver. You can see it's just a cutting, and I put it up here before I put the light up, so it hasn't done very much, but I'm hoping now with the new light that it will do better. So we have our watering gauge, and because I don't water these very often, I do fill them up to the maximum. Sometimes, by the way guys, the little indicator on here does get stuck, and you have to, you see there, you have to give it a little tap, and you can see it actually was up to the maximum, and it kind of gets stuck. So that's something you do need to consider. I'm just going to take a quick look in here just to make sure. Yeah, here we have the Polyneura Silver. I'm going to show you this one because I keep forgetting its name, and I just remembered its name right now. So this is the Meredithii. Isn't this gorgeous? What a pretty plant. Now, it took a long time. Paula gave me this cutting, gosh, I'd say well over a year ago, and it did nothing for the longest time. And then it put out these new leaves. But because it's been up on that hanging shelf without a light, it's kind of stopped putting out new growth. So fingers crossed, she's going to give me more new growth soon. She does have a dead piece on her tendril, which I'm going to actually cut off now. Can you see there? We have a dead piece of tendril. So I just cut that off, and hopefully that will promote some more growth. I think I'm also going to get my sulfur and give all of these a little sprinkling of sulfur. Now you can see I've been watering that, nothing's been happening. The gauge, oh, I should have done it sooner. So can you see the gauge has gone over the maximum? I'm not too worried about it. It will be fine because I do it all the time. So let me go get my sulfur and I'll be back. There's too much in this frame, isn't there? It makes it awkward for you guys to see what I'm doing. So let me move all of these things out of the way. Let's get our plant that we're dealing with right now. And if you watched my video on flat mites, you'll know that I just dust on my sulfur. I don't dilute it. And let me show you what I do. I literally just take my brush and I go all over the knobbly looking growth, and this does have knobbly looking growth, and dust it on. When I'm watering, if I do wash it off, I reapply it. If I can manage not to wash it off, I don't bother. So there we have sulfur on my Meredithii. She's very, very pretty, very healthy, nice and firm. And I'm excited for this to grow so that I can add more cuttings in here and end up with a bigger plant. So plant number 2. Okay, what else have we? This here, I thought of the name of this. This is, I did think of the name of this a minute ago. Now I can't remember the name. Actually, her leaves are actually quite limp, so she definitely needs a good watering. What is she? Is she a Memoria? I think she might be the Hoya Memoria. If she isn't, I will put the name on the screen. And she really needs some water. So let's give her a soaking. Don't forget, give this a tap. And there we go. So you can, hopefully you saw this indicator rising. And let's go down in here and give her a little bit of sulfur. Just see if it will help her to promote more growth. I used to have her in my Probapro cabinet, but then I took her out to put her up here. You can see she has some dead tendril there. So we're going to chop that off too. And hopefully she'll put out some new tendrils. Pretty girl. So you can see there's a theme here. I'm going for trailing plants up here because obviously that's the look I want. And I'm looking at some of these and I have no idea what their names are. Okay, this is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this plant. And what is it? I have an idea. I know it's one that I bought fairly recently and I obviously took a cutting of it. And I can't quite think of the name of it, but I will put it up on the screen. Look at the lovely variegation on that. Isn't it gorgeous? You can see the variegation can be quite different on the leaves, which helps you identify what they are. But because I can never remember, as I say, I'm going to put it on the screen. It could be like a previously Vitellinoides or something like that, but I will confirm it. Isn't she pretty? Okay, so I don't know if you can see actually. Oh, I knocked over my sulfur. The pon isn't like bone dry. Thankfully, I don't think they're any worse for wear for me going away. Again, we're going to tap our little indicator. I don't know if any of you have these pots and you find the same thing. There, the indicator. I'm just going to bring it up to maximum. And let's try. I see there's a cutting in there. I may have put 2 cuttings in here and I know it doesn't have any leaves, but let's put some sulfur on it and see what happens. Okay, that is just, oh my god, sorry, I have to show this to you again. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like a lime green. The variegation is lime green on it. Very pretty. Okay. Next up, so I believe this is Wilbur Graves China, because I did take a few cuttings of my Wilbur Graves. Can you see her there? How pretty she is. And although it's not the splashiest, it's still gorgeous. Obviously, if we get really splashy leaves, we're excited, but I still love the plants even if they're not the splashiest. And this here is, I know what this is. This, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of this, but I do know what it is, so I will get the name and put it on the screen. I have it in one of my IKEA cabinets, but I can't think right now. But isn't she beautiful? So I have, sometimes I do that. If I have a cutting, I just stick an extra cutting into these pots because I know they will eventually grow down. So let's water this baby. Oh, there we go. So she is on full, and I'm going to cut off the dead tendrils. Is that one dead? No, let's just cut it here and see what's going on. I don't know if that's dead. No, that's dead also, so let's cut this one off too. And we will get our sulfur. Can you see what I'm doing? Am I at a bad angle? I hope I'm not at too bad an angle for you guys there. And we will give them all a little bit of sulfur. So, there we are. I will, as I say, I'll get the name of that for you. Now my poor Angleriana, she's looking, I think I'm going to take some cuttings of my Angleriana because she really is looking very, very sad. Can you see there? I hope she's not dying. I'm going to cut off this. This looks like it's dead. And I think we'll just, you know what, I think we'll chop her up and root her. Let me see, they're not mealybugs, are they? No, I thought they were, I got a fright there. I thought it was mealybugs Let me just take another quick look. Oh, I think it is mealybugs. Oh, those dastardly bugs. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut her up and I'm going to treat her and I'm going to replant her. So I'm glad that I found this. I will check all the others more closely now for mealybugs. But because I've taken these cuttings like this, I'm going to actually put her into a solution of Dawn dish soap and alcohol into a bowl and give her a good soak before I chop her up to propagate her. She's starting to rot. Are her roots rotten? Yeah. So I'm going to actually discard this. I will actually wash this pond in boiling water because it is fairly new and I don't want to discard it. So I'm actually just going to I have this bowl here, I'm going to put some Dawn dish soap in it. I'm going to put some water in it. Get some alcohol. So I got this from Dollarama, it's 99% alcohol, but it should be fine because I'm diluting it. I'm going to throw a little bit in there and I'm just going to soak these and try and get rid of those mealybugs. So I'm going to leave that there for a while and then I'll cut them up and propagate them. Might put a little bit more alcohol in it. We Irish like our alcohol, right? Just put a bit more in. Okay. So now I've got to double check all my other plants, of course, to make sure they don't have mealybugs. All right, so next up, oh, I got the name of this off of Paula. I think this, is it? I thought this was a Sulawesiana, but I'm actually not 100% sure now because I just took a look at my other Sulawesiana. So if you think it's a Sulawesiana or if it's not, if you know what it is, please leave a comment below. I just can't remember. It could be something that Paula gave me. So Paula, if you're watching, maybe you could let me know. But isn't it pretty? So I love this because of its long, strappy like leaves, and I cannot wait for this to overflow and come and hang down from my, what should we call it? My hanging piece. Now I am looking at, there is some damage on the back of that leaf. See the damage there on that leaf? I'm not sure what that's caused by. I don't see thrips. I think, oh, well, let's forget about that because I just pulled it off. Well, now I can show you better. So this damage was on the leaf, but like sometimes leaves do get that damage and it really isn't related to bugs. It can be underwatering, overwatering or whatever. So I don't see any bugs on it at all. I certainly don't see thrips, that's for sure, nor do I see mealybugs. So I think that's just one of those little anomalies we get with our plants. So again, we have a dead tendril here, so let's cut that off. And we get our sulfur. I'm just going to put some sulfur there to try and promote some growth, and maybe a bit down here. We didn't water this baby yet. Probably should have watered this before I put on the sulfur, but I think it's okay. Let's tap our meter. Yeah, so you can see she's moving there now. So there, I think this is gorgeous. I cannot wait for this to be full. I mean, I could propagate her. I think will I? Or will I let her get another leaf? Maybe I'll just leave her for now until she gets another leaf. So I think a Sulawesiana, but I could be wrong. This I actually know. Can you believe it? This is the Hoya 074. Is it a Carnosa 074? I'm saying I know it, but I know it's 074. And look, isn't she gorgeous? Look at her variegation. Isn't she just stunning? This plant does so well for me. Can you see she has grown quite vigorously, even up in the lower light, believe it or not, before I put the light up. She's always done well. Oh, 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 oh. There's something going on here. What is this? And funnily, it's on the front of the leaf. Isn't that weird? I wonder if that was light damage when she was in my cabinet. Let's see further back up. Yeah, so the leaves above it and below it are absolutely fine, which is weird. Of course, it had to happen to the best variegated leaf on the whole plant, but everything else looks really good. So you know what, could it be scale, I wonder? I don't have a lot of experience in dealing with scale. I don't know an awful lot about it, but I believe you can get it off with alcohol. So let's try spraying some alcohol on here and see if anything comes off. No, nothing is coming off. So I don't actually know that, like I can almost feel it on the surface of the plant. So again, guys, if you know what this is, if you think I should cut it off, let me know. Let's just spray it with alcohol and see if that makes any difference. But it doesn't seem to be spreading. So can you see, none of these leaves have it. And none of the leaves at the top have it. So that's an anomaly. The Hoya 074. Is it AH074? I think that's what it is. AH074. Okay, so I've done a little bit of damage here today, as you can probably see. I'm thinking I will actually cut this up for propagation, just so I can fill it out, because it does actually hang right down. Oops, it hangs right down over my countertop. So let's give this baby a trim. You know, for safety's sake, let's cut off these two leaves that are damaged, just for safety's sake. And although they're stunning and I don't really want to throw them out, I think I will. And then I will just take cuttings of this and propagate. And then when they grow, we can put them back in the plant. So I'm just going to cut here, here. Did you see what I did? See what I did? Oh Lord, I'm dangerous. Okay, so I have two propagations. This one and this one. So then when they grow, oh no, that's the one that's damaged. Okay, so I have two propagations after all that. And I will put them back in when they grow. So let's try a little bit of sulfur. I find, even if you don't think you have flat mites, I find sulfur just makes the plants grow. Is it a coincidence? Or do I have flat mites and I don't know? But I have noticed when I use the sulfur on the plants, they definitely are more invigorated and they definitely start to grow. Okay, so we're going to the nicest. Maybe I might propagate this and keep it isolated from everything else, only because it has such beautiful variegation, and see what happens. Okay, so that was a nice bit of housekeeping done today. I got to identify some problems with the plants, got to water them, got to add my sulfur. So all in all, I would say that was a really good day. So let's put these babies back. Oh. Do you really want to see me doing that? Probably can't even see me doing it. I'll do the other side off camera because I don't want to do what I did when I was taking them down. So on that note, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you watched till the end, don't forget to put the green heart emoji in the comments. And thank you so much for joining me and giving me time out of your busy day. You take care. See you next week.